A pledge of the divine love, a prayer of St. G. The moon before the dawn was of a quarter, so that it was incomplete, turning away from fullness to that shallow crescent, which is our life. A full life was given us, and was then all but destroyed, this in Adam, this in our own journey round the earth. But the nature of God did not allow it. You make covenant with us who are unable, and by this cutting of life unto life are we saved. You are the God who gives life. From you in Abraham we have a pledge of the divine love, and before him it was said unto Eve in this wise, You shall have seed as also the evil one, and yours to be bruised in his human nature, and yours to destroy the policy and power of the devil in his heel, where is the sting of death. So that it came to pass in that day that there was the promise of life, whereas Eve had thought to have lost it. And perhaps she and hers came immediately trembling unto you, seeing in you the only way of their deliverance. All other parts of life were shrunk to insignificance, as is a universal truth. Only you are life. There is a desolation of all other things. You love us unconditionally, freely, with covenant mercies attaching. Whatever is said between us, you will answer the heavens, and we will answer the earth, given us as our dominion. There is a coming state of blessing, past these waters of oblivion. Even now may we have your blessedness, but then eternally. And ours is a strange devotion. We feel you to be ours, yet often do we shun you. Your sovereignty is a divine hold upon your people. We shall not be loosed. In some knowledge, this we have a momentary supernatural exaltation. But this we cannot sustain. It is mixed with the earth, with our dust, and we seem not able to rise above it. There are, so to speak, many gods upon the earth. Each man can enumerate his. In the possession of one's God, it shall be noted, to have a God and to have God are two things. In the real and living attachment is mutual surrender. This we would not expect. The person-to-person submission, which in us becomes worship. In us is nothing to worship, yet we are befriended. In you is all to worship, all. No one but you can ever fully be ours, as we have learned here on earth to be disappointed, this mostly in ourselves. To you we assign false features and must ask, do we live for your own sake or for ours? Among us, this transition is rarely made. We must see the acts of our life as written within you, an inner sanctuary of communion. We have fugitive moments, as it is not the fusing of two entities. The Son of God became flesh of our flesh, and bone of our bones. By this we are partakers of the divine nature. But whereas of a marriage it is said, the two shall become one flesh, we shall always be the creatures and worshippers of the one who is Alpha and Omega. Your features are slowly and surely wrought out in us. Surely we do all things according to our will, yet we are comparing ourselves to one who is good, perfectly good, and whose will is actually away from himself and toward his children. The beauty of the Lord is put upon us. Man must exist in the image of God, a further and further assimilation of your likeness in us. To this is added the warm baptism of affection. You truly love us, and we have the joy of moving toward this in this world and in the next. In us is becoming a great power of conscious love. I will betroth you unto me in righteousness and in justice, in loving kindness and in mercies, and you shall know the Lord. This knowing is as Adam of Eve, and of your foreknowledge of us, a knowledge beyond words, a bonded affection of unending marriage. Our gift of likeness is the equivalent of the knowledge of God, and if we are wise, this shall be the pursuit of all our days. All else is a tinkling of bells, this to be overshadowed by the trumpets and voice of the Lord in victory, and in the certainty of eternal love. Help us to develop passionate searching after the perfections of the divine nature. This brings to us not a state of contentment, but the extreme restlessness of love in motion, and forever becomes our own. Of this we shall resign ourselves to an experience without understanding. Man's life on earth consists but of a few days, and those full of trouble. It is our constant comfort that you hear us. There is rich grace in the gospel of Jesus Christ. We are in your special protection. Your peace is the object of our desire. Let us depart from evil, and in the fear of the Lord do good, and we will dwell with you forever in your land of promise. Amen.